Hello everyone, Connor here with Country First Action Foundation, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Foundations First. Today we're going to be talking about Senate appointments. The role of the U.S. Senate in providing advice and consent on presidential nominations is a fundamental constitutional mechanism designed to uphold the principles of checks and balances that are central to American governance. This role is not merely a procedural formality, it's a vital component of ensuring that power remains decentralized and that the integrity of government institutions is preserved. The advice and consent role of the U.S. Senate concerning presidential nominations finds its roots in the framers' desire to create a balanced and controlled mechanism of governance as laid out in the U.S. Constitution. Article 2, Section 2 primarily defines this role, stating that the President shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States. This provision was a direct response to past experiences with unchecked executive power and sought to establish a framework meant to prevent tyranny and ensure a more collaborative government. The Federalist Papers, particularly those authored by Alexander Hamilton, explain the rationale behind this constitutional design. In Federalist number 76, Hamilton argued that the Senate's role in nomination would prevent the concentration of power in the president and ensure that appointees are qualified and represent broader interests. He stated that the appointment of officers of the United States is an executive function, but the Senate has a role in advising and consenting to these appointments, which provides a necessary check on the executive. Hamilton noted that this collaboration between the President and the Senate would facilitate the appointment of individuals who possess the requisite knowledge and virtue, fostering a more competent and ethical leadership within the executive branch. Furthermore, the Federalist Papers emphasized that the Senate's involvement would encourage a more moderate approach, requiring nominees to have broader acceptance beyond just the President's partisan base. The process begins with the President's selection of a nominee for a cabinet position, such as the Secretary of Education or the Secretary of Defense. This nomination often follows extensive consultations with advisors, stakeholders, and other party leaders to identify candidates who possess the requisite qualifications and alignment to the President's policy goals. The nomination is then formally submitted to the Senate. Once a nomination is submitted, it is typically referred to the relevant Senate committee, such as the Senate Armed Services Committee for the Secretary of Defense. This committee then plays a crucial role in the initial vetting process. Members of the committee hold hearings where they can question the nominee about their qualifications, views on policy issues, past experiences, and vision for the department they will lead. During these hearings, the nominee is often required to disclose relevant background information, including finances, previous employment, and ethical considerations. Senators may also invite testimony from experts, stakeholders, and public interest groups, providing a platform for broader perspectives on the nominee's suitability. This phase represents a critical opportunity for scrutiny, allowing senators to gather information that goes beyond party affiliation, evaluating nominees based on competence, integrity, and suitability for the role. Following the hearings, the committee conducts a vote to determine whether to advance the nomination to the full Senate. A favorable vote allows the nomination to proceed, while a negative vote can effectively halt the process. It's important to note that committee votes may often break along party lines, reflecting political dynamics at play. However, bipartisan support can enhance a nominee's credibility, demonstrating a broader level of consensus regarding their qualifications. If the committee votes to advance the nomination, it is brought before the full Senate for consideration. Here, the senators debate the nominee's qualifications and experience. This stage may also involve discussions about the nominee's past actions, viewpoints, and potential impact on the specific department and broader government policy. Senators might emphasize the importance of ensuring nominees uphold vital principles. They may call for an honest representation of how nominees would fulfill their roles without overreach or excessive partisanship. Following debate, a vote is taken. A simple majority is needed for confirmation unless the Senate has decided to employ a filibuster or any other procedural tactic that can delay or require a supermajority for a vote. In recent times, the shift towards simple majority votes for most nominees has led to a more expedited process, but has often fueled partisan tensions. If confirmed, the nominee takes the oath of office and begins their service. If rejected, the President may choose to nominate someone else or resubmit the same candidate. The Senate's advice and consent role serves as a crucial check on executive power. The President is often tempted to appoint individuals who align with personal or political preferences. However, the Senate's involvement ensures that these appointments are subject to a broader scrutiny, taking into account not only political considerations, but also qualifications, character, and compatibility with constitutional principles. This process restricts the potential for unqualified or ideologically extreme candidates to assume an influential position, particularly in judiciary, where decisions can have far-reaching implications for law and society. On a broader scale, the Senate's authority acts as a bulwark against ideological extremism from either major party. This principle emphasizes the necessity of consensus in a diverse society, which embodies the Constitution's fundamental values of pluralism and federalism. Another critical aspect of the Senate's advice and consent role is rooted in the rule of law and ensuring that appointees understand and respect the Constitution. Just as the President is expected to uphold constitutional principles, those placed in positions of authority must demonstrate a commitment to hearing these same principles. Senators can probe nominees during hearings, scrutinizing their judicial philosophies, ethical standards, and past conduct. The process serves not only to vet candidates, but to reaffirm the Constitution's lasting significance, promoting a government that operates within the bounds of the law rather than in defiance of it. Senators, as representatives of their states, carry a dual responsibility to their constituents and to the nation. This dual obligation underscores the importance of accountability in the nomination process. By participating in the confirmation of high-level appointments, senators ensure that the voices of their constituents are heard and considered. This engagement fortifies the government's connection to the people and reinforces the idea that officials are answerable to voters. In a constitutional conservative framework, this aligns directly with the belief in limited government and individual rights, promoting a system wherein those in power are tasked to serve, not dictate. In recent years, the nomination process has become increasingly contentious, highlighting the ideological divides that can challenge the Senate's role. While partisanship is a reality of American politics, civility and respect for the nomination process should prevail over political expediency. Both parties bear a responsibility to respect the procedures, as undermining the Senate's role could lead to an erosion of institutional credibility and public trust. Moreover, it is vital for the Senate to resist the temptation to devolve into simple obstructionism. This fractures the constitutional principle that governance should ideally reflect the spirit of cooperation and compromise, aligning with the Constitution's intention to foster a functional and collaborative government. In conclusion, the U.S. Senate's advice and consent role in presidential nominations is essential for maintaining the checks and balances envisioned by the framers of the Constitution. It safeguards against the centralization of power, ensures the rule of law, promotes accountability, and engages the public in the governance process. This mechanism is not just about blocking or approving nominees. It's a testament to the enduring capacity of governing institutions to remain functional, deliberative, and responsive to the needs of the American people. Upholding this critical role strengthens the foundations of a democracy and emphasizes the importance of the rule of law in an ever-evolving political landscape. Thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the email on screen, and someone from on staff will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.